Donnie, is that you again? How did you know my favorite drink on a Wednesday afternoon was a nice cold glass of freshly squeezed woke lemonade? I mean, after all, everyone knows Don's lemons are America's favorite fruit. It's been quite a while since Don Lemon has made headlines over something that he actually said. Recently, the only time Tutti Frutti makes headlines is when media outlets are reporting on his rapidly declining television ratings. Talking booty with Tutti Frutti, beaten in prime time by Mr. Clean infomercial on the Home Shopping Network. We polled a group of virgins, all confirmed they prefer a Mr. Clean mop handle for the butt bongo instead of Don's lemons. Don Lemon is finally making headlines again for his warped, racially sensitive opinion. Unfortunately for him, the statement didn't happen on his own show. It took place on CNN New Day, the morning show on CNN that draws a smaller audience than the WNBA. It's true. I know that's hard to believe. When it comes to drawing ratings, the WNBA dump ranks at the bottom with reality shows like Non-Binary Nate Seduces Rhonda Rake. The only show drawing less than the dump is New Day on CNN. Well, and of course, Bomani Jones. As you guys know, no one does failure like Bomani Jones. My sources at the dump tell me when Bomani Jones drops a fresh turd, flies, they actually fly away from it. Blake Masters. Blake Masters is a Senate candidate in Arizona. Now, I don't know anything about the guy. First I heard of him was when I saw this story from the New York Post in my newsfeed. Blake Masters received an endorsement from Donald Trump. Now, for us normal people, that means Blake Masters stands for something besides woke politics. For woke shitfucks, the endorsement from Trump, along with the lack of melanin in his skin, means Blake Masters was born into inherent racism. Mythical racism, I should say. Last weekend, associated with Butt Bongo, formerly known as the Associated Press, they sent out a tweet about the current Federal Reserve. In the 109-year history of the Federal Reserve, there have never been more black or gay decision makers than there are today. Another fun fact. In the 109-year history of the Federal Reserve, there have never been more non-binary rakes and shovels making financial decisions that impact the lives of people who don't identify as garden tools. I guess that's great. I guess that's a good thing. The Federal Reserve has an enormous impact on our economy. I don't give a fuck what color the decision makers are. I don't care if they enjoy what the woke call old-fashioned sex. I don't care if they get down with the brown. Doesn't matter to me. Their personal lives are not my concern. What I do care about are these decision makers qualified. Is the Federal Reserve giving key positions to candidates based on their qualifications or based on some bullshit woke checklist? What they used to call affirmative action. Blake Masters, he shares this same sentiment. He sent out a video response to the tweet from the Butt Bongo Association. Watch it for yourself.
Well, this tweet made people mad. Newsweek wrote, "Oh, Blake said that women and minorities are hurting the economy." Fake news. Look, I don't care if every single employee at the Fed is a black lesbian, as long as they're hired for their competence and not because of what they look like or who they sleep with. News for Joe Biden. We are done with this affirmative action regime. I can't think of a single policy since the end of Jim Crow that's been worse or more divisive for race relations in this country. Race quotas are wrong. Gender quotas are wrong. They're unjust. They're illegal. But the Democrats are addicted to this kind of identity politics garbage. They just care about how you look, not whether you're the best qualified or whether you can do the best job. If you want to see the affirmative action regime on display, just look at Biden's White House. Biden promised that he would choose a woman for his VP. And then, of course, he chose Kamala Harris. So incompetent she can't even get a sentence out. But I've never spoken to anyone who can say with a straight face that Kamala was somehow the most qualified candidate for that job. So we've had enough. We've had enough of the Democrats' diversity obsession. They put diversity over competence, over prosperity, and there are real costs to this. We're done with the media selectively reporting on crimes depending on the race of the criminal. We're done being told that the moral status of people is dependent on their skin color. Look, there's such a thing as fairness. We're going to end this unfair and incompetent affirmative action regime. And so Newsweek, who loves reporting on this topic, they're going to say, "Oh, Blake, you're just trying to defend old white men." But I'm not. I'm trying to get rid of Joe Biden.
Did any of that seem illogical to you? I agree with everything he just said. I find it so ironic. The same people claiming to lead the fight to end mythical racism, the same people who claim us normal people are obsessed with race, the same people who claim that we are obsessed with someone's sexual orientation or gender identity, those same people are the ones actually obsessed with all of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't spend my weekends watching woke love. I don't have downloaded copies of Rhonda Rake sees how many cucumbers she can take. When I'm reading through my comment section here on YouTube, I'm not worried about liking and replying to the same number of black comments as I do white comments. Very rarely do I even look at the picture of whoever's commenting. If someone says something I like, I hit them with a like button. Blake Masters is 100% correct. If you want to see the real results of affirmative action, look at this current administration. Joe Biden has been open about the fact that he was looking to hire what they call marginalized people. When looking for a vice president, he said the candidate had to be a black woman. Not only is that illegal, it also eliminates qualified candidates. By eliminating qualified candidates and basing the decision on race and gender, Joe Biden gave us cackling Kamala. How the fuck is that working out? The woman is a walking disaster. Kamala Harris is not qualified to work the drive-thru window at woke Wendy's, where the only thing on the menu is the woke Frosty. Not only does Kamala constantly get orders wrong, when a white person orders vanilla instead of chocolate, she accuses them of mythical racism. Remember when Little Red Riding Hood stepped down as press secretary? Now, I never really liked Jen Psaki. She refused to answer real questions, but I will give her credit. She had this way of not answering questions where at least some of the time you thought she was answering. Jen Psaki, she was decent enough at her job, decent enough at dodging questions, but when Little Red Riding Hood hopped on her broom and rode over to cash woke welfare at MSNBC, Joe Biden had to hire a replacement. He bragged incessantly about hiring Karine Jean-Pierre. Not because of her qualifications. No. Qualifications? What the fuck is that? This hiring was historic. They, as the first black, openly gay, possibly non-binary press secretary in American history. Oh, it's historic. Of course, the results have been anything but historic, or maybe historically disastrous. KJP, or whatever they call her, she's often unprepared. She stumbles over her answers, much like her boss. One of the requirements in this administration, you got to be a complete dumbass when it comes to public speaking. One person, though, who doesn't agree with Blake Masters is America's favorite fruit, Don Lemon. Oh, Donnie's delusion was on full display this morning. Watch for yourself as Don Lemon projects the woke mentality onto white people and Blake Masters. Roll the film.
He believes nothing what he's saying. It's not, if you listen to all the people who say the same things that he says, they all sound alike, like it's a script. He knows that what he's doing is, and that he's trying to rile up his base. Right? People who feel that they're disaffected because they're white. He is what? Trying to reach this white population who feels aggrieved. It's a grievance culture that he doesn't really have an argument. For people who have had, listen, I'm not saying that there aren't white people, especially and white men who don't have challenges, who aren't discriminated against. But for the most part, they're the least discriminated against people in this country. There's never been a carve-out in the Constitution. There's never been an amendment for anyone who looks like Blake Masters. So all of that silliness aside, because Blake Masters doesn't believe a word that he's saying, and I think that most people who say that, leaders I'm talking about, don't believe a word. The sad thing is that there are people who believe him and who are being co-opted by him.
Did you see the projection? First of all, Tutti Frutti claims Blake Masters doesn't believe what he's saying. This is a classic trick taken out of the woke Bible. You project your perceived narrative onto your opponent. You think Don Lemon really believes in the propaganda that he pushes? You think he really believes the system is set up against black people or gay people? Don Lemon is a prime example of how America isn't racist, isn't homophobic. He's a gay black dude. According to woke logic, Don Lemon was born with 2 strikes against him. There is no way he could be successful in the systemically racist system, right? Yet somehow, Don Lemon makes millions of dollars every year. He goes on to accuse Blake Masters of going off of a political script, going off talking points. Again, projection. How many times have we heard woke shitfucks repeat the same narrative verbatim? Gender fluidity, systemic racism, orange man bad, don't say gay, Russian collusion, voter oppression, rigged elections. They all repeat the same phrases. It's groupthink. None of these people have a mind of their own. They are paid parrots who are given a script and instructed to follow it. Now, 20 years ago, I would have agreed with Don Lemon when he said white people are the least discriminated against. But in 2022, that is bullshit. Yesterday, Pfizer announced a fellowship conference for advanced students and early career workers. They called it a first-of-its-kind fellowship. Pfizer also claimed this would be an anti-racism fellowship. Now, how are they ensuring that it will be anti-racism? No white people are allowed. White people won't be invited. You see, according to woke logic, the only way to end racism is to practice racism. These are the people that are running the country. This is affirmative action in practice. This is what happens when you put unqualified people into big positions. Now you tell me, is it working? Clearly, Don Lemon, he is not listening to his new bosses. Clearly, he hadn't paid attention to what happens at CNN when you don't follow the directives of Chris Light. Chris Light has been vocal and open about wanting to get away from identity politics. He wants CNN to be more about hard news and less about woke talking points. Don Lemon clearly does not give a fuck. He's not listening. You saw what happened to the Donut Diva. Don Lemon, he no longer has 2 fresh male breasts to lay his head on in the break room because Brian Stelter got fired. His fellow butt brigader Chris Cuomo fired last November. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, Don Lemon will be next. Talking Booty with Tutti Frutti continues to slide in the ratings. Monday night, he only drew 509,000 viewers. Now, while that would be a great number for the WNBA Dump Olympics, it is god-awful for CNN. Both Fox and MSNBC drew over 2 million in the same time slot. Hour 2 of Talkin' Booty got beaten by Greg Gutfeld by almost 2 million viewers. Don Lemon hasn't made the top 50 in cable in months. He's not attracting younger viewers. He's not attracting older viewers. He's not attracting black viewers. He's not attracting gay viewers. He's not attracting any viewers. This time next year, Don Lemon will be forgotten. You take away the platform of CNN, and he quickly becomes irrelevant. Just ask Keith Olbermann, Brian Williams, Chris Cuomo. All 3 have been blackballed in the mainstream media. 2 of the 3 started podcasts no one listens to. But let me know what you think. Blake Masters blast affirmative action in the federal government, triggering Don Lemon to preach one of his sermons on mythical racism. Do you think Don Lemon makes it through the end of the year on CNN, or will he be fired by Halloween? Maybe by Labor Day. Hell, who knows at this point? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. See you guys tomorrow.